Asmat Paramagurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarvagurubhyo Namaha, Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalaspatikavritam Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmaye. So we'll start with this beautiful sloka, Jnananandamayam Devam. Bhagavan Hayagriva is the epitome of knowledge. He gives us all the knowledge that we require. So today we will be learning this sloka also with the meaning. Before we go on to the actual sloka and meaning, I would like to communicate what is the purpose of us being here. From our childhood, all our education has been from a point of view. We learn science, mathematics, history, geography, everything from a particular mindset. So what happens is, many a times when a traditional mindset is given to us, we are wondering, how can this and that match? Where is something common between these two things, right? So what we have to understand is, yes, there is a world view for everything. There is also a Bharatiya view for a lot of things. So unless we know what is the Bharatiya view, it is very difficult for us to comprehend the mindset of what our ancestors said. So in everything we can take this perspective. So what is the world view? What is the Bharatiya view? Is there a specific Bharatiya view here? For example, how many planets did we have? How many planets do we have? Bharatiya view is 9 and 2 is Chayagraha. It has always been consistent. But today we will see the number of planets keeps changing. Depending on which year the question comes, my answer would be different, right? So the Bharatiya view is something which our ancestors were looking at. So if I ask you a question, okay, what is today's year? Let's take a very simple example. What is today's year? Which year are we in?
2025.
2025. Suppose we have our great Rishis, Munis in this room. Let us just visualize. Vedavyasa Maharishi is sitting here, Valmiki Maharishi is sitting here, Bhagavad Ramanuja, all of these great people are there. Now, I am asking the same question. What year are we in? What will be the answer that we get? Will we get 2025? Think about it. Before 2025 years, did the world exist? Were humans there? Were animals there? Were plants there? Everything was existing, is that right? Prior to that, say 3000 years back, was everything there? 5000 years back, was everything there? So for how long has all this been there? For a very long time. So why are we calling this year as 2025? That's the world perspective. We take that perspective. Having said that, we should know what is our traditional perspective also, so that we understand things from the viewpoint of our acharyas, from the viewpoint of our rishis, from our munis. We don't call them scientists, though they came out with outstanding contribution. We don't call them scientists, we call them maharishis. We don't call them as people who've gone in one logical path in spite of everything being completely logical, because it does not match the current system. Think of this. You go to an allopathist. You have fever, the allopathy doctor will give you a prescription. You will have that medicine. After a day, if your temperature does not go down, you will tell the doctor, "Doctor, my temperature has not gone down." He will panic. "No, this medicine, your temperature is supposed to go down. Something wrong, we have to do this test, that test, everything, right?" You go to a homeopathist. He will give you a medicine. You panic, you call him and you say, "My temperature has gone up." He will say, "No, it will initially increase, after that it will come down, nothing to worry." So we cannot measure homeopathy in the scale of allopathy. Correct? That is exactly what we are doing today. We are measuring all our traditional knowledge systems based on the current scale that we have, because that is the only scale we have. But there is a traditional scale which is existing, which is our ancient Indian wisdom. So that is what we are calling here as eternal wisdom. The eternal wisdom is something where our ancestors have been thinking very, very differently. Now think about it. Suppose today, all of you said the year is 2025. Okay? What is the year according to our ancestors? Let us just explore it. Only then I will even be able to explain what is eternal. Because when we say eternal wisdom, how old is old? 100 years is old, 500 years is old, 1000 years is old, or maybe it started when 2025. In fact, till the 19th century, people were believing that the earth is only like 5000, 6000 years old. After that, in the 19th century, they came to a few millions. And now, 1956, they said, it is billions. What does our traditional wisdom say? That day, this day, every day, we are speaking about the same thing. I will go into those details in a few minutes. So, 2025 current year. What does our traditional wisdom say? Our traditional wisdom speaks about different kalas. What do we mean by this? All of us know about the Yugas, right? We are now in Kali Yuga. All of us know. Any problem we have, Kali Yuga, it will be like this only. That's one standard practice we say. So we are now in Kali Yuga. What was prior to this? Krishna was there, Dwapara Yuga. Prior to that, Rama Avatara, Treta Yuga. Prior to that, Narasimha Avatara, and so many things happened during that time. Our Hayagriva Avatara, Varaha Avatara, all that happened during the first Satya Yuga, Krita Yuga we call it. Now, all these have different time spans. The shortest duration being the Kali Yuga, which is 4,32,000 years. 4,32,000 years. And we are now in Kali Yuga. We are just in the beginning part of Kali Yuga. I'll go into the calculation now. How do you understand the duration of the previous Yuga? Very simple. Just do times 2. 4,32,000 times 2, 8,64,000. That is the duration of Dwapara Yuga. What about the duration of Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga? Times 3. Right? It's very, very simple. So Kali Yuga times 3 is the duration of Treta Yuga. That's when Rama Avatara happened. Prior to that, Satya Yuga, by now all of us should know. It should be Kali Yuga times 4. Now we add all these together, we get what we call as the Chatur Yuga. Simple, right? So you add all these things, you will get Chatur Yuga. Now what happens is 1000 such Chatur Yugas is one daytime of Brahma. 1000 Chatur Yugas is one daytime of Brahma. Which means another night is going to be another 1000 Chatur Yugas, right? So this 1000 years together is called as a Kalpa. Brahma Kalpam we say, right? So that's a daytime of Brahma. Today in science we understand that the lifetime of say the bright or maybe we'll take dogs easier. Dogs live only for 12 years, right? 12 to 15 years. And that is their entire lifetime. The flies which come when it rains, right? Their lifetime is only one night. And we know the light years are different from human years. The star that we see now, we don't know whether the stars even exist or not. We believe in all that because science mentions that. Brahma's age, 1000 such days is Brahma's life. I mean, Brahma's one day is all these 1000 things together. Now, in each of this Brahma's daytime, we have some rulers who are called as Manus. So there we have 14 such rulers, 14 Manvantaras will happen, and each Manu will rule for, they have a specific lifetime, they will rule. So all these are our way of calculating the date. Okay. In fact, we are all familiar, but we might have heard it, we might not deciphered what it is. Whenever we do a puja, have you all heard the Pandit saying, Adya Brahmanaha? Right? So, which means that we are speaking about today's Brahma. So, who's today's Brahma? We have had 50, we are having several Brahmas. First of all, we should realize Brahma is a designation. Brahma is not permanent deity. Brahma has 100 years in his lifespan, which is infinite in our view, right? So this Brahma has a lifespan, and we have several Brahmas. So 28 Brahmas have passed. Okay, so we are in the 28th Brahma actually at this point, and for him also 50 years are over. So when we do the Sankalpa, we mention all these things. Okay, so what exactly do we mention? We mention Adya Brahmanaha, Dvitiya Pararde. So which means that 50 years of that Brahma is over. He is now in his 51st year, which means it's broken into two parts. We are now in the second part. And then we say Shveta Varaha Kalpe. So which means this Kalpa. What is Kalpa? I was telling you. In Brahma's yeah. So that Kalpa has several names. Now we are in the Shveta Varaha Kalpa. Okay, Shveta Varaha Kalpe. Vaivasvata Manvantare. So who is the Manu of this? Because I told you 14 Manus are there. We are in the 7th Manu. So 6 Manus are already gone. We are now in the 7th Manu, which is Vaivasvata Manvantare. Ashtavimshati Tame. Ashtavimshati is 28. Okay, so I said 28 such lifetimes have already gone. And within that, where are we? Kali Yuga. We are in this Kali Yuga. Okay, so Pratame Parshve. In Kali Yuga, we are in the first part. Because 4,32,000 years are there, we are just in, somewhere around 5,000 something we are there, 5,100 something we are there. Which means we are still in the first part. So much more has to go for Kali Yuga to get completed, so we don't have to worry about anything. So all these are mentioned whenever we do a Sankalpa for date. It is like you're opening a notebook, you have to take notes, you write today's date to take notes, right? So here we mention the space and time with reference to whatever we have to do. That's what our ancestors did. So space and time. Where are we located? Bharata Varshe, Bharata Kande, Kali Yuge. So all this. So who is the ruler? Whose Manvantara are we in? Shveta Varaha Kalpe, Vaivasvata Manvantare. And you are offering all this to Bhagavan. Finally you will say Bhagavat Prityartham, whatever is your Sankalpa. So this is the date and time reference that our ancestors gave. So if you look at this, let me explain what you see here. So here I was starting to mention about Kali Yuga. 4,32,000 years is the Kali Yuga. So times 2 is Dwapara Yuga, 8,64,000. Kali Yuga times 3 is Treta Yuga. Kali Yuga times 4 is Satya Yuga. All these added together will give us the total of the 4 Yugas. 1,000 times that is a daytime of Brahma. So that is what we see as one Chaturyugi. That is 43,20,000 years. So that is 1,000 such Chaturyugas, is one daytime of Brahma. 1,000 such Chaturyugas is one nighttime of Brahma. So a full day of Brahma, you can see the total. So the age of Brahma, he lives for 100 such years. Now our Brahma has completed 50 years, he is in the 51st. So that is what we've understood, right? So our timing is way different. So when we speak of eternal, what do we mean? Let us just think about it. It's a very important thing for us to think. Suppose we have learned something, very important thing. Say we've learned Bhagavad Gita, okay? We've learned 2 years to understand what is the essence of it, taken notes meticulously, day in and day night, dedicating our life. We now have the Grantha with the meaning. One fine day, I'm not able to find that notebook. We will start panicking, right? So much of time, so much of effort, and I'm not able to find my notebook. What happened to my notebook? Is that right? So we will, because 2 years of our lifetime has gone on that. Now what happens? Instead of all this timeline, we are now changing our timeline to 2025. What is going to happen to everything prior to that? Nothing existed before that. All that is insignificant. So we wipe all that out, and worst is we think that caveman theory is true. What did our ancestors say? Our ancestors did not believe in that. Our ancestors said that in Satya Yuga, people were more intelligent, they were taller, they had wisdom, they could do tapasya for a long time. Right? So whatever they could do at that point of time, we are not capable of doing. That is why Vedavyasa Maharishi came whatever Vedas was so huge, he divided it, he compiled it into smaller portions so that we can learn. And now we are not able to learn that, that is a different thing. But he at least compiled it for our sake, right? So much was there. And today we think our ancestors did not know anything and we know everything because of technology. The last 20 years, if we just rewind, think of all the development that has happened. Or maybe 30 years, it will be even nicer. How many of you remember the black and white televisions in your houses? Right? So, the black and white television, it will not be in every house, only some houses will have. Everybody will run to other places to watch Chitrahar or Olim Olim on Friday evening. Not everybody had a telephone line at home. We had to apply, wait for 3 years for a telephone line. People would come there, use other people's houses as if it was a STD booth in order to make phone calls. We used to make trunk bookings in order to speak. Now fast forward. Today, everybody has mobile phones, maybe multiple phones, or one phone which has dual SIM. We have AI technology where we ask, all the AI devices what we want. And nowadays even songs it's able to sing, videos it's able to create. So many advancements has happened in technology. And everything is so simplified. Speaking to people back home, it's like you just dial and you're able to talk. In such a short time, so much of technology is gone. What happens when we wipe out all the history that we've had, and how advanced could they have been at that point of time? Today we have the concept of research. People search on whatever information is there, which means where is the knowledge available for searching? It is in our Bharatiya wisdom. We had agricultural economy. After that we had industrial economy. Then came the IT economy. Today it is knowledge economy. Tomorrow is going to be knowledge economy. The more knowledge we have, the better we are. And where is all this knowledge? Jnana Bhandara. We call it, it's like a treasure trove. Where is this treasure trove? It is in Bharatiya knowledge. Itihasas, puranas, the time scale we are speaking about. Bha itself means knowledge. Bha means effulgence, radiance. That's why Surya Bhagavan is called as Bhaskara, because Bha means knowledge. So that knowledge, that radiance, all the Bharatiyas had. We were always craving for more knowledge, So that is why we were called as Bharatiyas. And that knowledge is available because of our traditional wisdom from our gurus. So here, in our Satya Yuga, we were known for our austerity, purity. People were really, able to meditate. We had people like Shibi Chakravarti. We had Harishchandra, Raja Harishchandra. All these stories are all Satya Yuga. Treta Yuga is known for truthfulness, like Bhagavan Sri Rama, for compassion. Dwapara Yuga is for Krishna, Daya, Satyam, everything. And all that, we have life lessons we can learn from. So today, according to our traditional knowledge system, we are at least 155.5 trillion years. I have the calculation if you all want how we arrived at it. I'm not going to spend time on that. But 155.5 trillion years is our age. Right?
And in this Brahma only.
Yeah, in this Brahma, of course. So today's date, if you ask our Vedavyasa Maharishi, Bhagavad Ramanuja or Valmiki Maharishi, what they will say is 19558885126. That is the date, Adya Brahma, today's Brahma's time based on that, right? So that is the equivalent of 2025. Even if we take just 2025, just the Kali Yuga part itself will be 5126 years. Even that way. And even if we take the Western knowledge system, which is the oldest text which is available, Rig Veda. Even according to Westerners, Rig Veda is the oldest text that is available. And we say we did not even text it because it was all Shruti Parampara. So somebody at a later time might have documented it and people take only documented evidence. Right? So that is Rig Veda. Now, what all did our scientists come into conclusion? Because today it is a statement that if it is scientific, then we will accept it. But what is scientific? I said, till the 19th century, world was only like 6,000 years old, according to a lot of traditional beliefs, not Bharatiya. So here, now the scientists are saying Earth is much older than what we thought. And now the concept goes to say that it can be 4.54 billion years old. So what are we speaking about? We are speaking about similar numbers, right? And this is plus or minus 5. So here, because of some rock fragments in Australia, people have started believing that it can be much older depending on the zircon crystals. Similarly, the age of moon. What they thought earlier and what it is now is quite different. Okay, so all these are news items. What did our Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? He says, Bhuta gramasa evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratyagame vashapata prabhavatya haragame. He says, we create, right? Bhagavan creates the entire cosmos and then he consumes it. Then the creation happens again. Then he consumes it. So it's a repeated cycle of creation and it is not even destruction. He swallows it. Okay, he holds it on. In fact, if you've seen that Adi like Krishna, he has everything in his stomach at that point of time during the pralaya, and then he gives everything back where the creation happens. So that is what happens. It's a repeated cycle over and over again. So all this happens during Brahma's daytime, creation happens. Brahma's nighttime, the destruction happens. That's what Krishna says. Right? And there were some scientists who recognized that so much of contribution are there from the Bharatiya knowledge. Now, the astrophysicist, Dr. Carl Sagan, he says, how is it that Bharatiya wisdom, they knew that this was billions of years while, the other part of the world was speaking of, smaller numbers. How did they all know? And he speaks about the vastness of Vedas. How can Vedas be so vast and so much of knowledge be hidden in it? Now, why is all this important? Because, yes, okay, we have ancient history, but what's in it for us? Think about it. There are so many recent inventions which our ancestors had mentioned as a matter of fact. Till the recent few decades back, was there water in moon or not? There was one big question whether there was water in moon or not. But what did our ancestors say? They depict the unique qualities of all the grahas, right? So, Jalavat Chandrama. Normal phrase, they just call it Jalavat Chandrama, which means it's a water body itself. Like how sun is a fire body, moon is a water body. They speak about all this. So, when we think of this, oh my God, it's such a simple thing that they mentioned, right? And what about the shape of earth? Because they've spoken so much about the age of Bhumi and everything. So, what is the shape of earth? If we all go to any Varaha Kshetra, Varaha Murti, notice the beautiful Bhugola. We even call it as Bhugola. We know the shape of earth. But there was so much of discussion whether earth is flat, earth is square, earth is round, earth is elliptic. So much of things. Brahmanda, we say, it is in the form of Anda. What shape is Anda? So, these were a matter of fact for our ancestors. Which means that instead of, starting from nowhere, you have a confirmed authority. All you have to do is accept that everything becomes clear. We don't have to get confused at all. So much of time, energy, everything can be saved. And here, this is mentioned by one of the NASA scientists itself. Finally, we've come to the conclusion that the universe is in the shape of egg. But this information was already present in Hindu literature. Okay? The magnetic earth. This was another thing. I can give plenty of examples. We are just touching the tip of the iceberg here. So, the earth is magnetic is mentioned in Taittiriya Brahmanam and Aitiriya Brahmanam, which means it's all in the Upanishad, the Vedas itself. And now we say that it was discovered in the 17th century. In fact, even the gravity, I have complete records of what are the slokas of gravity. We will discuss this when we progress in the session. So, the details about how gravity was there. In fact, even Adi Shankara Bhagavad has mentioned about gravity. A lot of our acharyas, Bhaskaracharya has mentioned about gravity. A lot of people have mentioned about gravity. So, these kind of details is all available in our scriptures. Now, how did the Vedas have all this knowledge was one of the quotes that we read, right? In that context, I would like to say a story. I'll tell a story. Okay. So there was one Maharishi. He's called Bharadwaja Maharishi. Okay. Bharadwaja Maharishi wanted to learn the complete Vedas. So he was taking all the efforts, no watching TV, no distractions, nothing, completely dedicated to learning Vedas. Humans usually have lifespan of 100 years, so he utilized his entire lifespan towards learning Vedas, but he didn't feel happy that he's learned it completely. So he prays for the extension of his lifespan, and he is granted another complete 100 years for learning Vedas. So he utilizes that 100 years also in learning Vedas. He's still not happy. He asks for another extension. So now this is the third lifespan he is getting. He utilized it in order to learn the Vedas. He was still not happy. Now he wanted fourth extension. Indradeva comes there. He comes and has a discussion with Bharadwaja Maharishi, asking, what are you doing? He said, I want to learn the Vedas. I still don't feel complete. I've spent all my life in it. I'm still not feeling complete. Then Indradeva says, can you see the 3 mountains there? Yeah, I can see, says Bharadwaja Maharishi. Can you just go there and bring a handful of the mud that you can collect from each of these mountains? So Bharadwaja Maharishi goes and collects. He comes back to Indradeva. Now Indradeva says, in each of these 3 extensions, what you've learnt is what you have in your hand. What you've not learnt is there as 3 huge mountains. Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, all these are still there. What you've learnt is only this. So, learning the complete Vedas is not something that we can do in our lifetime. Because we say, Ananta Vai Vedaha. So, Vedas, when we speak about eternal, so coming back to our title here, when we speak of eternal, Ananta. Ananta means it's like unending. Vedas does not have an end. Even these 3 mountains, it's mentioned in Mahabharata itself. So even these 3 mountains that we speak of is basically to explain to us that there is so much and only so much you've done. Okay? So it is an unending treasure of knowledge. We can attempt to learn some parts of it. So the best way is to understand what our ancestors have told us and grab it from there. That is why we are always filled with gratitude to our acharyas who give us what exactly we want. Right? It is anati, very important concept. Anati means one which is not written by anybody. Think of any scripture. Okay, most of the scriptures will have a date when it was written. When did our knowledge, our Vedas come into existence? It has always been there. Was there a time when it was not there? Did Bhagavan create it? We don't even accept that Bhagavan created it. We say that it is the breath of Bhagavan, which means from the time Bhagavan is existing, the breath is existing. When did Bhagavan start existing? He is always there. So our Anati is always there. So our eternal knowledge is always there. Then how do we say that, these are the number of shakas, these are the number of branches, everything? It only means what is being revealed to us. Now think about it, there are sound waves everywhere. How many of you have tuned the radios and all earlier? FM, you keep a particular channel, you'll not hear it clearly and then you have to fine tune it. Finally you will be able to connect, right? So like that, the Maharishis tuned themselves. They tuned themselves, focused so deeply that they could connect to the sound waves, absorb what was happening in the sound waves, and it became the mantra which was revealed to them. When we say Vishwamitra Maharishi revealed the Gayatri Mantra, it is not that he wrote down the Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri Mantra is there. It was revealed through Vishwamitra Maharishi to us. So like that, all the mantras, everything that we have here, every single thing in the creation has its seeds from our Vedas. So it is Bhagavan's breath, which means what is available to us are certain things that are revealed, and it is Anati. It is like, it has always been there. It is Ananta. It is, huge. We cannot understand how much it is. And the best part is Apaurusheya. It is not written by anybody. Why is that important? Whenever something is written by somebody, it can be subject to bias. It can be subject to the time it was written in, the validity. Oh, it was written during that time, so it is valid only for people of that generation. No, it is not authored by anybody. So it is always been there, it is always going to be there, which means it is for all of us at any point of time. Desha Kala, no place or no time. It is always there for all of us. So these are the key things of eternal. It is Anati, it is Apaurusheya, it is Ananta. Because of these three things, Vedas are always our Pramana. Whatever is told in the Vedas, Veda Vakya we say, right? We take it. Because when we start questioning it, we don't question why is A written like this? Why is B written like this? Why can't I call B as A and A as B? We don't question, we take it. Why is 2 plus 2 equal to 4? We take it, right? Because only if you accept that, you can start constructing the remaining things. So we accept the Vedas because of these three reasons, because it is the breath of Bhagavan, and we take it forward from there. So in this Vedas, I'm just going to take this as the last point for today. What do our Anati literature communicate to us? The Vedas, because we have to understand it, our Acharyas have simplified it, given us so much of documentation, where they give us itihasas, puranas. I will be going through each of this in the remaining weeks. Itihasas are like whatever has happened when the author wrote it. For example, Valmiki Maharishi was a Samakalina. He lived at the same time as Bhagavan Sri Rama. When he wrote it, we call Valmiki Ramayana as itihasa. There can be so many other Ramayanas written by many people. Valmiki Ramayana is our itihasa. Vedavyasa Mahabharata, it is our itihasa, because Vedavyasa Maharishi was a Samakalina of our Krishna and all the Pandavas. So he had written that it is a itihasa. We have so many Puranas, retellings. So I will explain about Puranas also. So all this literature, what does it communicate? 4 important things. Anything that we aspire for in our life can be categorized as Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Anything that we want. So what can be something that we want? I want to lead a proper life. The way the Shastras have mentioned, I want to lead my life that way. Dharma. Some people will say, I want to make a lot of money. I want to have my property. I want to, have multiple cars. So all these can come under the category of Kama. It's not just lust. Any desire can be Kama. Artha can be making money, wealth. So I want wealth, I want power, I want promotion, all these, So Artha Kama, it's very close to it actually. One is money, one is fulfilling our satisfaction. So these go hand in hand. Finally, getting rid of the cycles of births and deaths and births and deaths, and ultimately serving Bhagavan eternally. That is Mokshananda. So that is the final thing. Anything in our life, think about it. Starting from buying a dress of our choice, to going to the university of our choice, settling in a location of our choice, getting married to the person. Everything can be classified under all this. The underlying thread should be Dharma. So that is very important. Ultimately, we should be of eternal servitude to Bhagavan. So now these 4 things are mentioned in our scriptures. So what does our scripture say? Mahabharata, there is a beautiful sloka which says, Dharme cha arte cha kame cha mokshe cha bharatarshava yat iha asti tad anyatra enne hasti tad kvachit. Which means, if you take dharma, artha, Kama or moksha, all these 4 things. What is there in Mahabharata may or may not be there outside. But whatever is there anywhere will definitely be present in Mahabharata. So this is like one huge encyclopedia of information. Outside of this, there is nothing else that you have to learn. So that is it's basically a compendium of knowledge. You have everything in Mahabharata. That's what the sloka says. If Mahabharata has everything, think of the amount of literature we have. We have huge libraries, right? So that is the kind of literature that we have. That is what our ancestors have given us. But usually people ignore this and we look for, what others can give us, right? So I'll conclude with this story which I heard in Samskrita Bharati. There is a beggar who goes for alms. He goes on begging, saying that, I want money. Some people give him money. Some people, ask him to get out. But at night when he's sleeping, he dreams about being rich, having a beautiful bed, all his dreams being satisfied and everything. But the next day morning, he again goes on begging. He always sits under a tree and every day this is his routine. Going on begging, people will give, they will throw him out, some will give him food. And then he'll think, how I wish I was rich. And then he'll retire for the day. One day he dies. Before he dies, he calls to his son and he says that, I have only one wish. Do my final rites in the place where I had spent my entire life. He was in that tree, right? So do my final rites below this tree itself. So his son digs the place in order to do his final rites and he sees a huge treasure there. Now, he's like, so much of treasure was there. My father was sitting right on top of it. He did not know that it was there. And he spent his entire lifetime begging to others for mere small things when such a huge treasure was there. Was he rich or was he poor? Sitting on top of wealth, he should be rich. But he actually spent the life in poverty. So that is our plight. We are sitting on top of all the granthas, the Bharatiya knowledge which our ancestors have given us. But then we are looking for outside sources. Gravity. Oh my God, this theory, Pythagoras theorem, this theory. Look at Bodhayana Sutra. Look at all the things that our ancestors given us. It's all so much in advance. In fact, I created a video just speaking about futuristic things in Sanatana Dharma. There's a video like that. So it's like so many things are there. Advanced things are mentioned there. We are just not exploring what is available. So much is there. So for today, as a takeaway, we will learn these 2 slokas, the Dharmecha Arte and the Jnanananda. Any of you who want can take photos of this. Sudhirji will also be sharing the thing in our group. So I will recite, you all can follow after me. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalaspatikakritim Adharam sarva vidyanam Hayagrivam upasmahe Jnanam Anandamayam Devam. Jnanam is knowledge. Anandamayam. The knowledge itself is happiness. I was telling you, right? Bharatiyas, we survive on knowledge. So knowledge itself is Ananda. Jnanam Anandamayam Devam. He is the Deva. He is Bhagavan. Nirmala. Mala is all the kalmisha, right? Nirmala, purity. Spatika kritam. His akriti, his form is like spatika. Have you seen the spatika stone? It's transparent, right? So Bhagavan Hayagriva is in the form of spatika, Nirmala and spatika akritam. Adharam sarva vidyanam. So if I worship Hayagriva, will I be good in maths? Yes, you will be good in maths. Will you be good in English? You will be good in English. Our Sanatana Dharma speaks about para vidya and apara vidya. All the material knowledge and then the spiritual knowledge. For all the knowledge, sarva vidyanam, adharam. He is the foundation for any kind of knowledge because he retrieved the Vedas itself and taught Brahmadeva the Vedas, which is the foundation. We were discussing about that, of everything. Adharam sarva vidyanam. Who is he? Hayagrivam. Haya means horse. Griva is neck. So above the neck he has a horse face. So Hayagrivam. So Devam Hayagrivam. That Bhagavan Hayagriva Upasmahe. I offer my salutations. That is the sloka. We will repeat it again. Jnananandamayam Devam.
Jnananandamayam Devam.
Nirmalaspatikakritim.
Nirmalaspatikakritim.
Adharam sarva vidyanam.
Adharam sarva vidyanam.
Hayagrivam upasmahe.
Hayagrivam upasmahe.
We'll do the other sloka for the day, which is the sloka from Mahabharata. Dharme cha arthe cha kame cha mokshe.
Dharme cha arthe cha kame cha mokshe.
Cha bharadarshava.
Cha bharadarshava.
Yadiha asti tadanyatra.
Yadiha asti tadanyatra.
Yanne hasti natat kvachit.
Yanne hasti natat kvachit.
Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Any of these four purusharthas. We call this as purusharthas. Bharatarshava, he is addressing the person, Bharatarshava. Yet iha asti tadanyatra. What is available here? Anyatra. Yanne hasti natat kvachit. What is here may be available there. Whatever is available there, everything is available. That's not one thing which is not available in Mahabharata. Dharme cha arthe cha.
Dharme cha arthe cha.
Kame cha mokshe cha.
Kame cha mokshe cha.
Bharadarshava.
Bharadarshava.
Yadiha hasti tadanyatra.
Yadiha hasti tadanyatra.
Yanne hasti natat kvachit.
Yanne hasti natat kvachit.
Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva buddhyatmana va prakriti svabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanaayati samarpayami.